They drive 18-wheelers at like 50 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour down the road.
Turn on your mics.
They're roads, they're highways.
Frank,
They're highways.
turn on your mic. Jeff, your mics, we're ready. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's exactly 7 p.m., September 18th, 2025. I'd like to call the Inland Wetlands Watercourse Commission to order. Stephen Molinelli, Chair, present. Russ Davenport, Vice Chair.
Present.
Jeff Lippincott, Secretary. Frank Oliveri.
Present.
Gary Paganelli.
Present.
Matt Clausen.
Present.
Jamie Colligan.
Present.
Mary Ann Marino.
Present.
And we still have one vacancy on the board for public information. Next order of business is under agenda review.
Nothing to speak of at this time.
I'll add that this is my error, it's a copy paste error, but 5B, 632 East Wakefield is not a modification of an existing permit. You accepted it at your last meeting as a new application for the reconstruction of the steps within the wall and repointing of the wall. So I just want to clarify that.
Okay. And my understanding also is that the first order of business has been withdrawn.
Correct. New business item 6A. The application came in prior to my availability to visit the site.
6A or 5A?
6A.
Under new business.
Under new business. Applicant Matt Smith, 662 East Wakefield.
Oh, you know what? I'm looking at last month's
Last
agenda.
month, okay.
Okay, go ahead. Thank
All
you.
right. In any event, after visiting the site and Commissioner Lippincott was available to join us as well, it became clear that this was by right maintenance. The water draw going down allowed us to see what was really going on.
So that's not going to be on the agenda.
Correct, that's removed.
Okay. Any other changes, any other suggestions for the agenda review? I don't think we're going to have much difficulty concluding the meeting by 10 tonight. So if we have to, keep that in the back of your minds for the 10 o'clock adjournment. We have no public hearings. Before we do that, the acceptance of the minutes from last month. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes for the September 18, 2025 meeting minutes.
I'll second it.
Can I ask for somebody else to make the motion? You weren't here?
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
That's why, so.
I'll
Jeff?
make the motion.
Okay, go ahead, Gary.
Make the motion.
I'm sorry.
That's
It's just-
all right, that's
It's just a technicality. So you make the motion, Gary, and a second by Jeff Lippincott. All those in favor, any corrections?
Right.
It's unanimous. Thank you. Okay, under old business application IWWC 25-24, the applicant is Michael Block, 928 Main Street. The proposal is a post facto application for the removal of an auto business building and regrade area.
So if you will recall, last month, Michael was able to join us, and the commission felt that he needn't come back this month due to the nature of the work there. The site is stabilized. It was just a post facto application, as we discussed.
How far is the wetlands from the area where the work is?
So the concern is actually not the river in the back, but the river across the street.
Okay.
He did not have a survey, which we were able to use to get that. So according to snapping a line on GIS, it was within the 100 feet. I don't want to give you an exact measurement, but out of an abundance of caution, we made him go through the process.
All right, I would suggest, not with this application, but you revisit the site and look at the river in the back and see what's going on back there.
Yeah, there's going to be a full site plan coming to us. He has some other ideas for the property. It may not come to wetlands, but when I say us, staff, land use, that we'll be reviewing. We have a meeting coming up with him.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions regarding this application? All right, is there a motion for approval?
I'll make
Go ahead, Jeff.
Motion
Oh,
to
Matt, I'm
approve
sorry.
IWWC 25-24, 928 Main Street,
post facto application for removal of auto business building and regrade area.
Okay. And there's a comment in the, from the town office that the front area of the property be fully stabilized to satisfy the town concerns. Can you explain that?
Yeah, your site plan that was submitted doesn't show any landscaping or grass or any sort of stabilization, permanent stabilization, so Jeff and I talked, and I think just a condition of approval would be full stabilization to satisfaction.
And he's aware of that?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll include that for approval. Do we need a bond?
Not with this
Okay.
application.
All those in favor of approval with the additional comment regarding from the town? It's unanimous? Okay. Next application is IWWC 25-35. The applicant is John Abrams at 632 East Wakefield Boulevard, and the proposal is for a modification of existing permit IWWC 21-31 to repair and rebuild the existing lake wall in the same location, and that's what we were talking about before?
Yeah, so after the last meeting, I did visit the site with Mr. Abrams and one of his potential masons. We looked at the scope of work for the wall maintenance that was needed, and that actually is okay under by right maintenance. However, he is interested in expanding the steps that go down into the water for safety reasons and such. So because of that work, an application is still appropriate, but it is just on the steps themselves.
Okay. so that's
Mr.
what-
Abrams is not able to join us tonight. Somebody, thank you. Come on up.
But we don't have any plans, do we?
This is, I believe we have the, are you the
Oh,
mason?
okay.
The mason, yeah.
Fantastic.
So the stairs, he's just trying to make wider, we're gonna take apart the wall a little bit, go from 3 feet to 6 feet. We're just gonna match whatever's there. That's about it. So rebar, pour concrete, whatever's there is there. He just wants to make them into the wall on one side of that, 3 feet.
And when I was there, he was talking about the possibility of a railing. Did he land on something there?
Yeah, he was thinking if we can get a railing, we'll get a railing. We'll just drill into the concrete and put a railing. Nothing is going in the water. We're not making the stairs any bigger towards the water or
Right.
anything. They're just lengthwise because they're getting older, hip problems.
Mhm.
And that's about it.
Okay. They may have more questions, but I just want to also share for the commission, I did explain to Mr. Abrams that should he get approved for this, once the work was done, it would require an as-built survey to represent the changes on the site as well.
Say that again?
He'll need to get an as-built survey when it's done, because the notch is going to be different, so we need to have an accurate representation.
See, the stairs are going into the wall, so the wall's already there. We're not going in the water at all.
But the indentation changes there.
I think the stairs are kind of like middle of the house area, so
Mhm.
on this property, on the property.
Normally, we wouldn't approve anything of this consequence without a plan. Not an oral plan, a plan. And I think the commission is gonna have to decide whether or not we wanna move ahead with a verbal plan that you're presenting. And my understanding is also is that the town has asked for a plan of sort to be presented.
Well, that's after the job, so the measurements are exact.
We don't know what the measurements are.
Well, you do have a write-up in your package that Mr. Abrams put together himself. The reason why I requested the mason to come tonight was to talk about the actual methods, but he does talk about the doubling of the width.
It wasn't in the packet.
Wasn't, nothing came in our packet.
If you give me a moment, I'll go make copies and you can continue.
That's, do you want me to get it on
I
screen?
think they're about 3 feet now.
But
We've
sorry,
got it online here. Jeremy's gonna pop it up.
Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought we asked the applicant to bring a survey and a plan to this meeting.
Well, look at the minutes and see what it says, you know.
Good point.
Where did you get that? This was from, I got this from this.
So we have a
Yeah, but this
survey.
was last month's. This is, where are the stairs?
Nothing else. That's 504.
Yeah. Breaker's gotta be
I
here.
got nothing.
He was on Zoom, man.
Yeah, but then that plan doesn't reflect it.
Like audio, right?
No,
Yeah, might have just been on.
But you have it in your packet?
that was last month's.
It doesn't have a detail in
It didn't go in the minutes, but I recall us having a discussion about this.
Yeah, you did ask for a plan.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's not reflected in our minute.
Yeah, it didn't get reflected in the minutes.
Vague, huh?
Jeff,
Yes.
is that what you're looking for behind you?
Yeah, I'm gonna skip this one.
Oh, okay.
Cooperating right
Oh, we were, okay, I have it here, okay. Okay,
So
I have
the
it
opening
here.
right now is 36
have
inches
it
or
here.
so. Where do you want to go to it?
I'm just gonna go around 6 feet.
So 36 to 72.
So it's basically doubling the wall we take down. is gonna be-
Yeah, that was the initial thing we talked about. Not without it.
So this was the original submittal, this is modification.
So it's right in the middle, so it doesn't,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
plenty of room.
Yes, of course.
Is there any reason why you didn't, or your applicant, the person you're working for, didn't provide a plan to the town so we would have it?
Oh, I thought he said he sent it.
So this is what the applicant provided to us for further details on the actual construction work. We were hoping you could fill them in.
Yeah, I mean, just where the stairs are, the center of the house, kind of the backyard, he just wants to take apart the wall 3 feet to add on to the current concrete stairs there. And then the steps right now have like half-inch tiles on there. They're simply, they're like bluestone or slate. So he's thinking about putting a one-piece bluestone on top of this. Same 6 feet by 14 or 12 inches of the stairs.
One slab.
One slab, yeah, just on top of the current concrete stairs, just so it's not slippery.
You're saying bluestone, up here it's saying,
Or granite, whatever can get past at this point, that's what he said.
To me, it's a pretty good narrative, I mean, lacking, we're only lacking maybe a picture, but I mean, I don't think, yeah, I mean, I don't,
That might have been.
The narrative on the whole thing is good. They're not detailing anything on the plan as far as where the silver's
Right.
going or anything to that nature.
but you still can see the steps on the plan, right? I mean,
No, I agree 100%.
yeah, but you're adding,
And I could go either way, left or right, to take it on the wall, so. I think on the left side, there's way more wall.
There is.
Going to the left-hand side, looking out, you're gonna come into the dock, aren't you?
Yeah, that's where the fence, silt fence is, right?
You know, there's nothing going on, so.
And the silt fence will be not getting any water. We're gonna,
I think that's where our problem is. We have to have a detail, right? I mean, I'm speaking that we have to have a detail laying out that area, not the survey plan, but a detail laying out the stairs with the silt fence coming around it. You know what I mean? Just so Jeff knows, and whoever the inspector is that's going out, the enforcement agent knows what's going on, and for us to do our due diligence as a commission.
Do we have the deep?
Whether, it doesn't have to be,
one, Mary, wait a minute.
it doesn't have to be, I personally don't feel it has to be drawn on this plan. I feel that if something is submitted to Jeff, a detailed plan.
Well, the question is, do we want to move ahead with approval, or do we want to wait for a plan to be submitted, and then we have it in front of us.
I'd be more going towards an approval. I mean, he's got a list there. I mean, I think we should do an approval with a condition of him giving, a drawing to Jeff.
Correct.
As a condition.
Only because time matters here.
Yeah.
As far as
Again,
draw,
you know.
You know what I mean, that's where I am. If it wasn't
This was
because
during
of
the
deep
summer,
draw
wouldn't
and
matter.
stuff like that, I'd say no.
How much time do you need on this?
We're gonna start once the water comes down.
It's down.
He wants to repair the wall as well, loose stones and whatnot, so expect him to.
So a week, 2 weeks?
A week would be good, or 2 weeks.
So you can do all the wall work without the steps?
Yeah, before the freeze, also, so we don't wanna go into December.
So this survey we have has the steps located on it. And I guess if we could do it, the approval contingent upon, I guess, the steps going to the north side of the property. No more, not exceed, 3 feet, or 6 feet overall to the north side. I mean, you can't go to the south because the dock's there.
Right.
So it's sort of a no-brainer there. You can't, and beforehand, I guess you could measure the exact dimension from the
The dock is
dock.
on the west side.
What's that?
The dock is on, according to this drawing, the dock is on the west side of the property.
Dock is on the south side.
Yeah, it's, north would be to the top of the drawings.
Yes, right.
They're excavating into the property, right? They're excavating into the property,
Yeah.
and they're,
This is north.
We're gonna dig it all with shovels, cause I.
Oh, south of,
South of the.
right, that's the thing, like, methods and means have to be very specific, like,
No, it's gonna be all shovels.
what are we doing? What are we doing by hand? What's going, do we need to think about drainage or riprap behind the steps, anything like that?
Well, that's typically shown in the drawing,
Right,
which we don't have.
which we don't have.
That typically we get a drawing of what the steps are gonna look like.
with the
The
detail and
steps,
everything else.
the stone behind it, the paper behind that,
I mean,
that's what we typically.
it just makes me uncomfortable because we require this of every other applicant. And, I understand that the clock is ticking, but at the same time, is that our responsibility to
Yes,
make
it
an
is.
exception because
No.
the homeowner didn't plan in advance?
We can go two ways. We can approve the application, but before any work begins, the plan has to be submitted to the town, and it has to be approved by Jeff or Jeremy, and then they can move forward. Or we could say, submit the plan first and come back next month. So,
Can I just clarify something? So all the other work other than the stairs is maintenance, by right maintenance?
Correct.
Yes,
So he could start on all that now?
yes.
How
Correct.
deep is water there? Is it dry at the bottom of
I
the wall?
haven't been there. Oh, the water there?
Yeah. Water's down probably 4
Is it?
feet already.
Cause I don't live here, I live in East Granby, so.
Have you been to the property?
Oh, yeah, I've been on the property.
Okay.
How deep is the water when it's all in there?
It was all in, it was a couple of feet when I saw it.
how many steps did it come up? Did the water come up on the steps? Roughly?
2 steps.
Okay.
So it's probably dry at the bottom now.
Oh, I'm sure it's right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, cause we were just gonna mimic the stairs there, add to them.
We've been pretty consistent with all the other applicants of what we're looking for.
Yeah, let's be consistent.
Cause he's on the
And
state
you can
right now.
start with all the other work that you have, with the exception of the steps, if we didn't approve it till next month.
Yeah, his concern was with the meeting, like how long it'll take to get approved and, cause I'm gonna already be there, if we could just do it all. Come back and forth.
Well, don't make the burden on us.
Oh, no, I'm not.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
You have a responsibility, we have a responsibility. So,
When are you gonna start work? Next week, maybe?
well, he doesn't have approval yet.
No, I mean on the other stuff.
I was gonna be like first week in November.
So if you started that and you did bring back the plan, I mean, it would probably be approved on the middle of the month.
Well, we
and
meet
then
on the
you-
20th.
On the 20th, so, I mean, you'd be pushing it a little with December, but,
We're not asking for a lot, just a drawing of what it's
I
gonna
mean,
look like when it's done.
When he gets back, he can draw something and submit it to you guys.
yeah.
He's not here now, so
Right.
that's why I can.
Yeah, but he heard the same thing last month.
Yeah, I would, I don't.
You know, I'm just saying.
He's
Yeah, but it was
built
tough because the Zoom wasn't working right.
Yeah, well, again, that's not our burden, you know?
Because I repaired a lot of walls and stairs, not for this lake, but other leaks, repaired, but we're not rebuilding or adding stuff, you know.
You know, we're
When
not,
he came in front of us last month, he wanted the whole wall rebuilt.
Oh, yeah, no, he said that.
So he
fell,
changed,
so-
right from that, he stopped that. And I thought we made it clear with him, but again, the communication wasn't good with this one.
and again, the staff notes,
But
which
the
were,
staff spoke with him after that, Jeff.
Yeah, spoke with him, visited the site,
Yeah.
that's why he knows no machinery, and, you know, that got through.
But everybody else would require, how much stone, how long, how far back is it gonna be? You gonna put pad paper behind it?
Yeah, like,
That's what we always
like
require.
really specific methods and means.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me-
This is-
Mr. Abrams
This is not that.
can't do that, that's, you know.
let me just say something. On October 9th, Jeremy sent us staff notes, and under comments, as of this date, October 9th, of this memo, a revised project narrative has been submitted, but no plans to match. Staff has reached out to the applicant requesting a plan. We still don't have it, so it's, you know. All right, what's our comfort level? We want to,
With
ask to
that-
come back?
With
next-
that statement, they can come back.
Okay.
But
All right,
can-
so we
they can
have,
start on the wall, though.
Yeah, the maintenance thing.
Yeah.
Motion to continue.
all right, well, we have to separate the motion, because we're gonna give him permission to start the wall.
He doesn't,
As of right.
that's
It's
by
as of
right
right.
maintenance.
That's by you?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so then,
This is just for the steps.
all right, so then, we can request a continuation, or it has to be from the applicant?
Hasn't been 65 days yet, so you've got time.
Yeah, you can just
So we
carry
can.
it.
All right, so do we have a motion to, just, continue this application until next month?
Motion to continue IWWC 25-35, 632 East Wakefield Boulevard. It's a new permit, right, for
Yeah.
rebuilding or enlarging the stairs.
Is there a second?
Second.
Gary, all those in favor of continuing to next month?
You
Frank?
clear what we're looking for?
You voting?
Yes, I
Yeah,
have
just
to
a
draw.
picture with.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
steps
I've
and
been
the-
stone over 20 years, I mean, that's the thing, it's like, I don't know what's under the stairs, so I don't know what's.
Well, you're gonna dig it out.
Well, you can't bring the sheet.
No, right, this says you're
And
gonna
I
dig
don't
it
wanna rip
out.
the wall down before not getting approval for adding stairs. Like,
Correct.
if you made a comment like that, you know what's back there exactly, I don't know.
The drawing is what's going to be back there when you're done.
Right.
Erosion sedimentation controls.
All right, so that we have a unanimous vote for continuation next month?
Right.
Are you sure you have a clear understanding of what we need for next month?
So it sounds like you want a drawing
Yes.
of what
Detailed
the
drawing.
stairs.
Of the
And-
stairs and the wall.
And corresponding methods and means, like specific.
Like what's behind it, what's the silt fence,
He doesn't
not
know
behind,
what
not
you're putting
behind it,
under
what,
it.
how you're gonna do it, not the unknown of when you dig it out, you know what I mean? Like, of course you don't know that.
I was, with him, when I talked to him, I was like, these are concrete stairs, we've been here forever, let's mimic those and just rebuild another, like, connect them, you know, 6 feet.
Right,
So whatever's there, I'm just gonna mimic.
right.
Also,
So I
We
don't-
So,
don't,
yeah, it's
we
just
don't
gotta be
know
on a
what's
little
there, you know what I mean? If
drawing.
you're saying it's concrete stairs and it's solid concrete, and you're gonna mimic it next door.
Can I make a suggestion? That either you, preferably you, or the applicant meet with Jeff one day and sit on site and talk about what you're planning, and then he'll guide you as to what we need on a piece of paper, and we'll move ahead with that. All right? Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
I will be in touch.
So that's continued. Okay, next application under new business would be IWWC 25-37. The applicant is Sean Stanziali at 504 East Wakefield Boulevard to demolish existing home, garage, and construct new home with attached garage.
Steve, for the record, I'm gonna recuse myself from discussion and voting on this application, because I'm gonna see it at ZBA. But I will listen.
Then, yeah, I think you have to leave the room?
Do I?
I think so.
I think you just have to sit back there, right?
I,
You can
you
still
know,
sit as a,
Jeff, does she need to
Civilian.
leave the room?
Yeah, I thought I could listen, but that's fine, I'm happy to leave. Okay.
No? Okay.
Leave the table.
You gotta turn around backwards though, because you can't have, you can't have any facial expressions.
No, we used to have to leave the room, so I'm just, anyway. For the record, gentlemen, introduce yourselves, please.
Hello, I'm Sean Stanziel. My address is 504 East Wakefield Boulevard. I'm the homeowner.
Kyle Case, KCC Consulting, professional engineer on the project.
Okay, want to talk to us about your application?
If I may, the project is, for most of you knew the original plan. We previously had an approval roughly 4 years ago, and the project is very similar, except our plan is to attach our garage to our home and knocking down our old garage. And after meeting with Jeremy and Jeff, one of the things that we learned that would improve for the ZBA is to change the position of my garage. So my garage is actually going to be 1 inch farther away from the property line, the Pollock's property line, but be attached to my home. So we shifted the garage roughly 5 feet away from the Pollock's property. But because of the way our property is situated, it improves the distance from my property lines for both my neighbor to the north and south. Our drainage plan is very similar, and our impervious surface is actually reduced even more in this program. So we tried to improve every single situation on this plan for my current home.
I'll go through the plans here.
You want to speak up?
Yep.
Go ahead.
So here's our existing plan and demo plan, existing garage to be removed and relocated. Existing house and decks are gonna be removed. Pretty much everything on site is being removed, except that the shed's gonna stay in its current location, and the well and sewage pump will stay where they're located. So come down here to the proposed work being completed. We'll have the driveway relocated more towards the center of the property, coming down to meet the garage, which ties into the house with the deck, covered porch, walkways. Coming down, we're gonna use a pervious paver system for the walkways to help alleviate stormwater runoff. Currently, the property is very sloped and very impervious. So we're lessening the slope of the property with the blasting and grading of the rock that's there. This will add vegetation, grass surfaces to absorb water and treat water as it flows towards the lake from the property. Coming down the sides, we have riprap slopes for slope protection, which will also act as a water filtering, will filter out sediment and debris and contaminants. And then down here in front of the retaining wall the stairs coming down from the patio, we have our infiltration system, which will catch roof runoff from a portion of the house in the front to capture that before. And then the other 2 areas, footing drains and roof gutters will dump out are in those riprap slopes to again treat the water and slow it before it gets down towards the lake. So that's the gist of what's being done on the property.
Go to your riprap detail.
Yes.
On the next, down a few pages. And I'm not an engineer, you are, but my only recommendation, that I went through this plan pretty explicitly, your riprap is fine, and everything, but me personally, I would have a silt fence between my granular fill and my riprap. You know, towed in on the bottom and towed in on top, only for the fact that being a 12-inch modified riprap, your water is gonna go right down through it to the gravel, and you're gonna find your gravel is gonna come out the bottom. You know what I mean, without having a fabric that
Absolutely.
keeps it from leaching. That's primarily the only thing I saw.
You're saying a layer of filter fabric on top of the 6-inch granular?
Correct.
Before you put the stone down?
Correct. Otherwise, that water goes right down, goes into the sand, and all the fines are coming out. the
Yeah,
bottom.
I got you.
Okay. The other thing I noticed is, you know, like I said, you lessened your impervious by 72 some foot in it. I don't know, seems to work very nice, to be honest with you. That was the only thing going down through the whole thing that I found. That I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to go that way, but
Right.
it's just a recommendation. We don't wanna see
Yeah, we don't want the
the
fines to
stuff,
wash out.
stuff running out on the bottom,
Right.
and I don't think you wanna see it to where that
And that's a
starts
maintenance
hollowing
issue
out
for
on
you.
you.
Yeah, that's
You
very
know,
fair.
You know, it's a bitch to fix it later.
I know you have experience in construction. That's,
Yep, you know. That would be it.
So we have these details here for trenches, pervious paver detail. Got a reservoir underneath it,
Yeah.
crushed stone, washed stone, woven fabric around that. That's sized to take the 1.3-inch water quality rainstorm event. We have our silt fence and erosion control matting details, stockpile detail, and then the straw wattle barriers for each side of the house structure during construction to slow the water and catch the sediment going down. That's the steepest part of the property once it's finished, so to control the water coming down that slope during construction.
Just, let me interrupt you, because of the proximity of your house to abutting neighbors, are you planting any kind of straw bales or anything on the sides of the property as opposed to
Silt fence as well.
both
So
sides?
Both sides.
No-
So it's like a U-shaped, horseshoe shape of
Okay.
a silt fence going around the property.
Right.
So that's on our erosion control plan. So we have the silt fence coming down around in front of the lake and then back up, and then we have our straw wattles coming down each embankment here, and then we have our tracking pad entrance and our stockpile area surrounded by silt fence. And then the hatched areas with the gray hatch here and here is erosion control matting in the interim between, before construction is finalized and finished, grass is established. So we'll have our temporary erosion control measures in place while it's open earth, so to speak. And we just have our erosion construction standards page and our narrative talking about all the steps to take for different scenarios that may occur during construction and process. And the last one, this is just the impervious surface comparison page, showing what's currently there, the colors match, and it just shows you where the reductions are coming from. A big reduction is the driveway, being cut by a third approximately, which is a big net savings for the property.
Approximately how much blasting will you need to do?
So, let's see. So this area here, we need to do blasting pretty much on the front half of the lot will
From the
require.
garage toward the street?
Yeah, probably from the covered porch towards the street will require the blasting.
Right.
Are you planning on using the blasted rock for the wall like the neighbor did?
well, that would have been approvals a while ago, because I won't have time to do that. Because I probably, if everything goes right, I probably won't have a building permit for, I'll miss the window. So, to be honest, no. I would love to, that was the original plan, but I'm gonna have to buy the stone.
For Jeremy or Jeff, and I don't know the answer, natural ledge is impervious, it's pervious.
We do not count it as impervious.
That's a good
coverage.
answer.
Yeah.
You don't count it.
Even though realistically it is.
It is, so
impervious.
that's not
It
counted.
doesn't get counted that way.
Okay.
The reason it doesn't get counted, to be honest with you, is it has fissures and it is not
Well, yeah, that's
impervious.
that's
It is
true.
pervious.
And we also, I mean, we're looking at man-made,
I was just gonna
non-natural
use the same
structures
term,
when we
man-made.
say impervious, because we're talking about asphalt, concrete, structures,
Right.
things
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. We're not looking at the natural environment.
Okay.
Because, you know, there's moss and there's other stuff that grows on that ledge too, so it's not just a sheer face.
All right, this is a new application, so, you know, all we're going to do is accept it tonight. The next normal question would be public hearing. Is there any indication to the town that there's a need for a public hearing?
We know that the neighbors are interested, of course, in the project. There's also gonna be a public hearing at ZBA.
That's,
I think, you know, with regard to this, you need to look at whether or not it's significant activity and act accordingly. I mean, we had a public hearing on this
or
project a
public
couple of months
interest.
ago.
Or public interest.
Yeah, public interest. And I think you as the commission need to determine if that's one neighbor or if it's more than one neighbor. We've heard from one neighbor. We have not heard from anybody else. So I think that's up to the commission whether or not you consider that public interest.
Well, the other neighbor's here, so, right? So he, you know, he can chime in.
Depends upon, well, at a public hearing you could,
Oh,
but not
okay.
now.
Okay.
So there is a request for a public hearing.
There's interest in a public hearing, yes, from one of the neighbors that we've talked to. I have not spoken to the other neighbor.
And one of the things we can do is deem it public interest, have a public hearing, and we can close the public hearing next month and take a vote on the application and not lose any time.
That's right.
So that's one way of satisfying everybody. You know, we're not delaying the project unless there's enough information that comes out at the public hearing to warrant us not being satisfied enough to vote. So that's pretty fair.
But then also ZBA is having,
Again,
you're saying that does.
go sit with Mary Ann.
The only thing, like if we have a public hearing, the only thing I wanna hear, is strictly
Waterfront,
travel,
water.
That is it. I don't care about the
And-
house
and-
being close, I don't care about
I got a call on
pervious,
you.
I don't care about pervious, impervious coverage. That's not us, that is zoning.
Agreed. And one thing that I would say about a public hearing is, you know, we've done it on this on this site, we've had a public hearing already. You know, and there's other avenues to get comments, right? Verified interveners can make their comments to you, so that's a process. And, you know, interested parties can force a public hearing by submitting a petition with 25 signatures. I have not heard of either of those two things happen. So, you know, it's up to you, but you're right. I mean, it's gotta be based on the plan and any, it's gotta be reasonably likely to cause unreasonable harm to the public trust, right? That's what you are tasked with, ensuring that it's not doing. You're tasked with those types of things. So any comment outside that box is irrelevant. So,
And I don't see where there's a problem with the water flows, keeping water flowing on the property.
Well, again, we're only accepting tonight. The question is a public hearing or not. That's where we're at. Is there consensus on the part of the board?
I mean, we've already had it, like I said, there's one for zoning, that may not factor into this, that's nothing relevant to this.
No.
All right, well, then, that's fine, I would still say, I don't see any reason for another public hearing on it.
I
Frank?
don't feel there's a reason for a public hearing.
Frank? You're Frank.
I know.
Oh.
Going off the rails. The proposal is to accept the application and have the public meeting next month, and we could accept
We
then.
can close the
public hearing and
if
then
we
vote
feel-
on,
if
then
we
vote
feel
on the
we have-
application.
If we feel the conversation is exhausted,
Exhausted.
specific to the application,
Application.
And if it's closed, then we can act on it
Right.
as soon as we get moved down
So
the
we're
agenda.
only acting on what we're responsible for, the
Correct,
wetlands.
correct.
Nothing with the building, nothing else.
Nothing at all.
I think that would be fair to somebody.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think there's a need for another public hearing.
So speak up so the microphone will
I'm
pick it
sorry,
up.
I don't think there's a need for another public hearing on the project. I mean, we had one and comments were made there. I'm not sure we need to have another one.
Okay. Matt?
I know I asked at the last public hearing in regards, the only concerns were to the waterfront, and there was no concerns on the rest of the project, so, yeah, I don't see a need. I think it's a pretty thorough plan, design.
Jeff?
I have mixed feelings.
Pick one.
I think,
You know,
I think,
vote against me. I just think because of the scope of the size of the project, everybody should have their say. But with that said, I think we've heard everything there is to say anyways. So I have mixed feelings.
well, again,
So-
don't forget, once an application is approved or denied, it's over. So.
Right, so this is a new
This is a new application now, so we're starting from scratch with regard to this application. My comfort level, being I've asked everybody else, would be to have a public hearing. I don't think there's gonna be an extensive conversation regarding the public hearing or the input from the public, but at least we satisfy the public. And in my feeling, I've always tried to be transparent. And, you know, this falls under that same guise. I mean, we, it is a new application.
You know-
And, you know, technically, from the applicant's perspective, they don't necessarily lose time because we can close the public hearing next month and move ahead with a vote. So it's just a matter of allowing the public, maybe one, a voice and move ahead.
Did we discuss on this, as a new application, any of the waterfront?
That was
did
done.
that
Or that was all done?
We
Okay.
while you were in
All right,
Chicago
okay.
or whatever.
Okay, boy. All right, I get it.
What we did as a committee, we separated out the waterfront and dealt with the waterfront and
Yes,
and let
okay,
the
I
house
understand.
stand alone, and the
Okay, I
property
got
of the house stand alone.
Understood.
Okay? All right, so then,
Just a recommendation then?
please.
Just to separate the two, we feel you should have a separate vote whether or not you want to have the public hearing first, and then vote to accept and, yeah. Don't couple the two together in one motion is the thing.
can we accept first and then decide if?
Yes,
Yeah.
your pleasure, yeah.
All right, do we have a motion to accept application number 25-37? The applicant is Sean Sanziali at 504 East Wakefield Boulevard. The proposal is to demolish the existing house and garage and construct a new home with an attached garage. There are a
I
motion
make that motion.
to accept.
second.
All right, Frank accepted. All those in favor of accepting the application? Okay, the next question is there a motion to have a public hearing?
I will make that motion for IWWC 25-37, applicant Sean Stengazowski at 504 East Wakefield to have a, sorry,
Public hearing.
Public hearing for
Public hearing.
interest.
Public hearing next month for the acceptance, and at the same time, without delay.
That's all, just a public hearing.
Public hearing.
We don't preclude anything. Okay. Is there a second for a public hearing? Jeff, all those in favor?
Yeah, I'm gonna go for that. I think it's the right thing.
1, 2, 3, 4. Abstain?
Abstain.
You're voting or abstaining?
I'm voting. but no.
Yes or no?
No.
No. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Did you vote?
Yeah, I don't feel we need it.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 8. So
Seven.
Marion's abstaining, thank you. So then there will be a public hearing.
So it's 4-0-2, so you get a public hearing.
We will have a public hearing. Okay? I think you know the drill. My sense is, it may be beneficial to meet with Jeff, make sure you, well, you know,
We've
again,
I will.
yeah,
We'll meet whatever we need to
just
do.
because, you know, we'd like to bring this to closure so that it's not prolonged into the winter, so to speak. All right?
Yeah,
Okay?
yes. Yes, I will.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is Main Street. Whose is this?
Main Street is, what do you call it? That was-
Agent
Yeah, no, I know.
determinations.
Earlier either.
All right, agent determinations, there are none, Jeff?
No new determinations. We
As
did,
of-
oh, sorry.
Go ahead, as of right.
Yeah, a couple, as of right, we already discussed Matt Smith's, which was deemed as of right maintenance at 662. Also had a visit to the office by Mr. Sabia at 638 East Wakefield, and he presented me with enough information, and I'd been on his site before to make that same determination. So those are both as of right maintenance. Violations, I think maybe we talked about this last month already, but 139 West Wakefield Boulevard, Ms. Babbage's trial. We did have a court hearing, and the judge decided to meet again in 6 months. I believe his hope is that she successfully sells the property. It is still for sale. As you guys know, the dock never went into the water this past season. And on top of that, one of the co-owners of the property has made some indication that he may go fix it himself to remove himself from the court case. So go do the shaving down of, I mean, if you recall, we're talking inches out of whack here. So that's all I've got to say about that.
Okay. Is he an owner of record? He owns 1%?
One of the 1% owners, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
He's taking it with him, yeah.
Any communications? I saw a communication from you, Jeff. I didn't mean to say it that way.
Yeah, we don't need to cover that here.
Oh, okay.
You're talking about the email I sent late in the day?
Yeah, I just saw it, yeah, so that's not for
Yeah,
conversation.
not for the rest of these
Okay,
folks
good.
yet.
Okay, under other business, Public Works, guys? You guys, Jeff, you see,
Yeah, I called Jim today. So, just a couple things. They did the drainage at the corner of Third Bay, by Dottie's place. And Hawk is set to pave the driveway next week, week after.
which driveway down?
The one that keeps washing out.
That's in the
That-
800s down there?
Yeah.
815.
Yeah, I just drove by
That's
that
how
today, I
it will be
saw
fixed.
that they had put the riprap in. Oh,
The
good.
drainage is done. That DM Hawk guy is scheduled to pave the driveway, he got the contract.
Well, that's good.
And what is not addressed, because he doesn't know how to fix it, is the issue with the house at the bottom of the hill that the river goes underneath it.
Yeah.
That's not addressed.
That's not his, is that his responsibility?
Well, I don't know, you say the water keeps coming out and.
That's where it dams up, because it freezes under the house. And then it bubbles out and goes across the road. And then we went out there with Jim that time, and it's a tough one to try and. He's
But
gotta
the
get
drainage
easements
down
on,
to
he's
there
gotta
is
get,
all done.
he's gotta get easements onto the property in order to try and fix it, but they don't have a way of fixing it. You know?
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Everything up to then is done on that corner.
Right.
So,
That's all you can do then.
Try to figure out that, because that impacts on the road.
is that where, well,
That all,
I don't
everything
know.
contributes toward the road.
I don't know, I think, you know, the driveway is a mess, but he also replaced several culverts there and put drainage in under there.
Yeah.
So, I'm just thinking, he doesn't have a plan for the last thing, let's see what happens over the winter.
We have no choice.
Maybe, yeah, right, maybe address it again next year, I don't know.
All right.
Who would we call, an engineer? Another,
But why are you spending town expense on something that's on private property?
They're being, putting a lien on their house. That's the
That's the
house.
driveway.
for the
The
driveway.
Yeah.
The driveway's lean.
Oh, yeah. So that's actually being paid for out of the Blight and Beautification Fund. It was deemed that because of the continued washout onto the road and a few other factors, that it did qualify to spend the blight money on there. And the fact that it will likely address some of the problems in that area, it seemed like a home run to do it. And so she will be responsible to pay it back.
Once and if
She
she sells
plans
the
to make
property.
payments
Right.
over time, or if, when the property sells, it would
Okay.
need to be
That's the
satisfied, so
legal way.
the town will be made whole.
Let's go down to the little red, the house where the water goes under.
That's a whole nother thing, yeah.
That's a whole other problem. There's no funding that can be taken to fix something like that, is there? I don't even know how, like, we
Yeah.
went out, we met, and the problem is the sewer goes through, there's a sewer manhole right there, that's where Main is. Not sure if you can get a catch basin in there because of the, conflict with the sewer.
What is the main issue with the,
Well,
what
floods
is?
right over, but this is where I'm going with this. So the water comes down, a brook comes off the mountain, but it's freezing under the house, because the house doesn't.
The house is on the
get
lake
any-
side.
No.
No, it's the opposite
Oh.
side of the road. It freezes there, and then it
Oh, yeah.
flows over, and it goes across the road. Now, there's no erosion. Okay, there's no erosion there whatsoever that we have any control over. There's no, it's not doing anything to the lake. Where is our end to this?
Other
Like
than
you just
put
answered
a
it.
lot of salt.
Other than he has to salt the shit out of it to keep it clean.
My recollection from that visit was, there was twofold. There was a problem on the other side of that property too, where the water was kind of perching out of the hillside.
Right.
And
Not
it's
even
leaching.
associated with the brook, or it was coming out of the hillside on the
There's a
other
green-
side.
there's a-
And
there's a
coming
green-
right down
there's a
that
green-
driveway and running over
There's
the
a
road
green
there.
pipe sticking out that I saw,
But that's
I
gonna be
think.
taken care of.
Yeah,
That's
so that
up
was-
to
Oh,
them.
that's the other one.
And that's almost like on the homeowner to resolve that, but you've got no room to do anything. That's the problem.
There you go. So that's what I'm saying, where do we chase this?
With the city, we did this once in Staten Island, but Staten Island was,
Yeah, but you know, I mean, there's no answer, but it's impacting on the lake and the road. You know, so,
Mostly the road though, right?
yeah, well, eventually, whatever public works spread to address the, you know, the grooves and the.
That's our only claw
Yeah.
in this.
Then that winds
Yeah.
up in the
Other
lake,
than that, it's
so
Jim's
that's,
fault.
that's,
Other than that,
that's
it's
the big
Jim's
thing.
problem. That's our only claw.
Yeah.
Is what they're putting on the road and going into the lake.
Let's hope that this does something, let's hope that what they did,
Listen, maybe it'll remedy
It
it.
should help it a little bit, because a lot of water did come out of that guy's driveway and come down through.
obviously all the,
You know what I
along
mean?
with this dirt.
Along the center.
And everything else that came off, comes off that hill, so.
We
he's
made leaps.
narrowed it down at least to the bottom of it.
We made leaps and bounds.
All right,
And
yeah.
now we just gotta.
Mr. Chairman, just a point, we skipped discussion, and I actually we have a few items for you. Oh, you wanna finish Public Works first, because we started it.
Okay,
yes,
when we drain the lake, it overflows Boyd Street, Route 263. The DOT is gonna put a catch basin at Boyd Street to get all that overflow.
you should. I heard,
That's what he said, that was today. That was
but
today.
I heard last week from somebody who works with DOT, they're sending it back to the town. The superintendent of the office that we sent it to is sending it back to us, saying it's not their responsibility.
Okay.
That's what I heard
I
from
don't know
somebody.
if Jim knows that then.
I'm just saying, that's what I heard last week. I'm just saying.
This was about 1 o'clock this afternoon.
I don't know, I'm just saying, that's what I heard.
And then one last thing is he has one more round of cleanings of the basins before the winter.
You ever see him clean them?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
No, he-
Listen, I'm around town all the time, but I don't see much happening.
You know, at one
I
point,
see
we
the
had,
holes in there.
at one point, we had sort of requested some kind of not a schedule ahead of time, but sort of like a.
Blanket permit we were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's something, as we get into winter, Jeremy and I are gonna work with Jim to get that put together. You know, he's obviously got a lot of projects going on, a lot of work to do, so to sit down and put time towards that, we're gonna help out with that.
Okay, good. All right, Marion and, anybody meet with Highland Lake?
Okay, so I was on vacation, so Jamie and I did not meet because I just got back. So we'll get into a rhythm of meeting, but I can give you guys the update. So just so that everybody knows, on October 8th, you guys probably got this, the Department, Connecticut,
Wake
Deep.
thing?
Yeah, Connecticut Department of Deep, basically, The boating law administrator, Peter B. Francis, sent out a note to first selectmen, mayors, town managers. I'll just read it because it's short. Wake surfing is a recreational activity of growing interest to many residents and businesses in Connecticut. Therefore, Connecticut Deep will be conducting an informational study on the operation of wake boats and the activity of wake surfing in the state. Because circumstances vary across water bodies, the findings of this study may be of interest to municipalities considering future approaches regarding wake surfing or wake boat use. And the study could also help inform state-level policy. We would like to hear from you. DEEP has published a public notice, there's a hyperlink, which details opportunities for public comment and engagement on the scope of the study. Comments are due by October 22nd, so this came out October 8th, and can be provided as outlined in the notice. So it's not a lot of time to review the available data and studies, et cetera, et cetera. So the Highland Lake Watershed Association hasn't, I mean, you know, there's a board, but the board represents all the membership, right? Which comprises many homeowners on the lake. So the Highland Lake Watershed Association did not feel they had enough time to consult membership, to pull together comments, to comment on this. So people can comment as individuals, but the organization doesn't have enough time to do it properly.
But they did, in the paper yesterday, DEE did approve for Wake Winnebago, the one, the 3 towns voted for the Winnebago. For the,
Yeah, upheld
they
it,
can
yeah.
use the Wake.
Yes.
So they're setting a precedent.
Yes, but every lake's different. I will say, I'm not saying one way or the other,
No.
what I support or not. I am a little concerned about people who would have been wakeboarding on Warramuk now coming to our
Oh,
lake.
of course, that's what's gonna happen.
But in any event, I do think it would be good to distribute this to the commissioners, because if they, as individuals, want to make comments before October 22nd, so they have the opportunity to. So that's one thing. The other thing is, as I understand it, the 504 acres that's going to the land trust upland of the lake on the east side closed today. Is that right, Gary?
Correct.
So that's very good news for the lake. That's going to protect water quality tremendously, and that's very positive. So that was a result of a lot of work from Highland Lake Watershed Association and the Land Trust.
Yeah, they worked hard.
What's that?
They worked hard at it.
They worked very hard. And a lot of people in the community rallied around the project, really believed in it. So it's just really great for the health of the lake.
Well, thank you too, Gary.
Thank you.
Let's not overlook why it happened and how it happened.
Well,
I think-
that's up to that person to
Yeah.
take the credit
All right,
publicly if that person wants to or
you're
not.
on television now, so say something. Thanks again, Gary.
Thanks, Gary.
It's a
Thank
great,
you, wife.
my
Thank you,
wife and I
wife.
both feel it's a great thing. It's great that it's gonna be preserved and forever what it is.
Yep.
We all appreciate it.
Some of the neighbors living around there never have to worry about a house in their backyard. We think it's great.
All right, you want to go back to discussions, Jeff?
Yeah, please. So the Highland Lake Ski Club came in. They are in the process of renewing their permit for their slalom course and the markers they have in the water. They're just asking for a letter which states there have been no complaints or erosion control issues as a result of their activities. However, since we've been discussing mooring balls and everything else, I wanted to just bring it to your attention. If you had any concerns, please let me know. If not, I'll simply pen the letter.
Do they have to go to the state for this?
Yeah, it's an application to the state. It's just a letter from the town.
Does
saying-
anybody do it?
I don't
I've
know.
never seen anybody
I
in
just seen them out
30
there.
years.
You always gotta look out for them.
First of all, you're at the other end of the lake, and they
But
only
still.
use it first thing in the morning.
They do?
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Oh,
good.
do they? Oh,
All right, good.
I tried to use it before.
Yeah, they're out early.
You're there in the morning, you're up at Gary's house.
Okay, good. No, so it is being used.
Yes.
Okay, good, very good, thank you. All right.
So if
Yeah,
no
go ahead.
comments, I'll pen the letter and get that to them, so that's good. Next, we have a recommendation to either add a new standard condition of approval to our approvals, or did you find one that could be modified?
No.
Oh, okay, so to add a new condition where a project has an engineer of record, that they be required to visit the site before work starts and make sure that the erosion controls were properly installed to their specifications. Furthermore, we would ask for a picture to be added into the permit portal that would live with the record always. As we know, one of the conditions is that all applicants are supposed to notify the office before they start. That doesn't always happen. But with this, we will put it on that engineer to actually go visit the site and make sure it's secure
That's
before they
only
get
if there's
started.
an engineer.
Engineer of record, correct.
Right, if there's
Right.
no engineer
If there's
of
no
record.
engineer, it still falls on staff to make sure, and again, we need to be
mean,
notified to know properly.
Before the bond's returned,
Yeah, bond return is at the end of the project.
after they sign off and everything is done properly.
Yeah, correct.
That's great.
Yeah, so this is the start and then that's the end.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, going back to one of the comments you made where somebody starts a project without notifying the town, or you specifically, you know, to me, if they start without notifying you, I would put a stop to the project and bring them before us again. The word will get out that, you know, you start without notifying the town.
Right.
Then the town is gonna say, Stop your work, because you didn't notify us, and now let's move ahead with the conversation."
I agree.
So the one comment that I'll make about that, and generally speaking, I think you're right, most of the time.
That's your one comment. Now,
Yeah,
you're done.
Yeah.
You're done.
So my second comment
March
is,
with that praise.
there are cases, and I've been involved in a number of them, there are cases where somebody gets into a project, and if you stop it, it's gonna cause more harm than it will if you allow it to at least wrap up or get them to stabilize the site in some manner. If you're dealing with slopes and you just say, time out, you're done, and
And they
wait
walk
until you
away.
get an application, and they walk away,
For 6
and you get a
weeks.
heavy rain,
And 6
that
weeks
can
later.
be more detrimental. So there's a little bit of a judgment call, I think, that has to happen. I think generally speaking, you're right, most projects, it's, whoa, time out, still fence around this thing and walk away. But sometimes that's not the best course of action, so
Well,
that's my 2 cents.
I mean, could we say that we would require the homeowner to stabilize the project and then stop?
Well, right, and I think that's where sometimes the judgment call comes from,
Right.
from staff. You know, the time of year can be tricky too, because if we get into a project and somebody's plan is, I'm tearing this all up and I'm gonna plant grass, well, it's October 16th, so the time to do that's like now. You know,
Yeah.
that's all I'm saying, is sometimes it requires a little bit of a judgment call.
Well, you know, again, if the word gets out that they're being stopped because they didn't notify the town, people will catch on. You know, and again, you know, we should make a point to that at the meeting here when we approve that, you know, one of the conditions is no work starts until the town is notified. And there will be consequences if you know, if you don't notify the town
Even with an approved permit.
with an approved permit, yeah.
Other towns are very stern with things too, like if the silt fence that gets knocked down or whatever, I know, it's like, you have 24 hours, 48 hours,
Said
fix
that,
it,
yes, yeah.
end of story, non-negotiable.
Yeah.
It's not, you know, when you get around to it or anything, you have X amount of time.
Yeah.
Get it stabilized, get it fixed.
And
We
for
don't
the
care.
most part, we operate that way. I mean, if Jeff sees, you know, ENS controls out of place, he pretty much gives them 24 hours, especially if there's rain coming, he'll be like, end of day.
Yeah, or that's the way, yeah.
Yeah, but but the thing is, if you're too tight, then he walks away, then you got the problem.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question sort of on this subject? I know you are around the lake a ton, Jeff, right? So you're around it so much that you catch violations. But this whole town is a wetlands, basically, right? Like, we have 2 rivers, we have ponds, we have several lakes, like, are we paying as much attention to the rest of the wetlands that we're responsible for as we are Highland Lake?
Mary Ann, the problem we have, okay, is, and it's come up in our discussions before, Highland Lake self-polices itself. People complain.
Right.
The people who live up on Blue Lake or Blue street up, well, I forget the name of the lake that's up there.
Park Pond.
Park Pond. If nobody's gonna complain, nobody's gonna know what's going on.
No one sees them up there.
Nobody sees them.
There's also very limited building up in those
Well,
areas
that's
too.
what I'm trying to say,
Yeah,
but
like,
you're-
nobody's doing anything.
Here, it's constantly in the eye.
Well,
and
our
there's people
Winchester
complaining.
Lake has that whole buffer all the
Yeah,
way
but we
around
don't-
it, so.
Even he said it last year, nobody comes in here and says they're on Winchester Lake to do anything.
No.
No, because the person who owned the majority of that land essentially protected a buffer zone all the way around the waterfront.
Not only that one, there's 15 different ponds and lakes.
Exactly.
Nobody comes.
And there are
But-
2 rivers.
And there's 2 rivers, like Mill River coming down the side of 44. Well, if you go out 44, you see a big excavator sitting in a guy's yard, right? He just stumped the whole backyard, which butts up against the river.
So yeah, I would say,
100,
yes, there is probably a
40,
little
44.
more we could
I
do as a
don't know.
focus
There's,
to
you know what I mean?
the other water courses.
And I'm not blaming
Absolutely.
anybody. I mean,
Yeah.
you guys can't just get in the car and start driving around
And
every
that's the
street. That's not where I'm going. There is no policing. Other than,
People calling up.
driving up around the lake and looking at projects. The majority of our projects take place where? Highland Lake. Right around. The
Well,
majority
those
of
are the
stuff that comes
permits
through
we
here.
see, but
So-
that doesn't mean there aren't projects
Oh, no.
without
No, no,
permits.
Majority
It's
of
the
projects
densest
that we
population.
have,
One at a
Mary
time,
Ann,
Hank,
where I'm
one at a
going with it, majority of projects that we have take place up there. So where is Jeff and Jeremy traveling? They're traveling up there, and that's what they're policing.
Right.
What you see is what you police, right? You're not getting out, going towards Colebrook and seeing an excavator in the yard. You know what I mean? Parked
Not
there.
often.
No,
Yeah,
that's
right.
where I'm going. So our policing program is minimal. It's just on things that we have approved that they're
So
catching.
should each of us take a zone and drive around every
I'm
now
not
and
gonna
again?
do that.
No, but I mean,
Blazing
I
in
live,
front of my house.
Mary Ann, my backyard faces East Lake Street. This summer, 4 houses. We started with the guy with the garage. He was ripping up his lawn. Then the neighbor was knocked down trees and built something.
Frank's
Now-
already got his zone.
I mean, you know, it's like, last week, the crane comes in and takes out the guy's stock.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's like, I look out my window and there they are. None of them got permits, none of them came to us. I call him and he goes out and looks.
But I do think, I would agree with it, there's a lot of water courses, I mean, we do have a lot of rivers, and there's stuff going on that needs to be looked at more closely. I mean, it's somewhat up to neighbors and citizens and any of us to see, but there's stuff that goes on other rivers. I mean, we have a huge industrial site on, what is that, behind this Mad River?
Yeah.
I mean, we've never walked around back there, I mean, there's tons
Well,
of.
we did once when we got permits for the guy
Right.
moving the
What I'm saying is there's a
piles.
lot of activity and that's a very sensitive, huge wetland zone.
It
that
is.
We don't really,
And
I mean,
also-
I'm just saying,
One at a time. Go ahead.
yeah, we don't really get to look at too much, but
So-
maybe it should be a little bit more of a focus.
And I guess what
Don't
I'm
just-
getting at is a lot of this, like, people often do stuff not even knowing, right, that they're doing damage, right? There's a certain amount of public education that could be happening and I mean, what's going on with the website?
It's coming.
Right,
It's there. It exists.
uh-huh.
I'm working on it.
Right, so Jeremy's putting together a landing page and a lot of resources on the website to, help create a place for people to go to learn about some of these issues. Perhaps when that's up and running and it's robust, we can, maybe do some programming around public education, around these.
I would agree with you to the fact that you're gonna hit some of the people with that, but let me ask you something. If majority of the people who come in and buy a piece of property on a pond or on a lake, they don't even go far enough. We haven't even educated them to go far enough buying it and checking what's on the deed and checking what permits they have for waterfront. Nobody checks it. They just
Yeah.
arbitrarily look and see there's a dock out there, everything's good, and away we go.
And they don't know
Well,
what
as
they're
you
doing.
know, I've been wanting to do a program with realtors for a long time.
You know, we haven't gotten that covered, never mind somebody that lives out there on
Park Pond.
Park Pond is gonna say, oh, I'm gonna get on the website and look at something, that's.
Right, but what I'm saying is, like, right now, people don't even, I mean, the website's not done yet. But once the landing page and the resources are there, people won't know they're there unless we direct them to it. Like,
Somehow it's gotta
we
get-
can do
yeah.
maybe I mean, I really do think, like, we should do some, you know, maybe not quarterly, but bi-yearly public events. Bring somebody in from deep,
Should-
serve cookies and donuts.
Should
and
that come from this commission or from Highland Lake Watershed?
Highland Lake Watershed is only Highland Lake. I'm
So
talking
not
about the
to
rest of the
stifle this
town.
conversation, it's very important. Marion, you didn't see the email yet because it started with leadership. The email that Steve referenced earlier, Jeremy and I had a meeting earlier today with Candy, talking about a lot of different lake and water quality issues and everything. So what we're requesting is, what was the date now? December 11th. Trying to put a meeting together with leadership of all the land use commissions, Conservation Commission, EDC, Public Works, Recreation, Sewer Department, getting everyone in the room and starting to discuss all these issues.
Great.
A lot of people are going in different directions, a lot of them are positive, but we want to try to rein it in,
Yeah.
get everyone going in the same direction.
Right.
So these kinds of conversations are gonna be happening at this super group.
Great.
And we're gonna.
public, the supergroup?
Yeah, I mean, sure, it'll be public. We're gonna have it at 5 o'clock on that Thursday. We have to be careful, though. We can't have a quorum from any different commission. So that's why I started with just the chair of each commission and the appropriate staff person
But
for
the
from the other
public will
stuff.
be invited.
Oh, absolutely.
So we can show up as members of the public, not commissioners.
Once you start
Yeah, we
showing
gotta
up
be
in the
careful
room, you
about
gotta be
quorum
careful.
rules.
You just
Yeah.
gotta post it online and say it's gonna be a meeting, just like you did with your thing with Lance last year.
Yeah, when we did that, we all showed up at
Everybody
those
showed up.
meetings.
Well, and maybe it'll become that, but
Right.
this just started today.
The concept is to just get everybody rowing in the same direction.
Right.
Part of the problem that I see is that you have Highland Lake Watershed Association, which does a ton of work on Highland Lake.
Right.
But you don't have, I mean, there's a conservation commission, but there's nobody sort of steering the ship in. This is a regulatory group, so this isn't really the right place for that info session and all that stuff either. You guys have a whole set of regulations you need to follow, you have a charge from the state. You don't have sort of a conservation commission that's out there doing that type of work.
Right.
And overseeing all bits and pieces of it.
Right.
And so what we're trying to do is, the first step to that is get the people in the room that are working on this in various capacities and get everybody onto the same boat rowing in the same direction. So it's not, we're not holding a land use meeting of sorts, we're not doing a symposium, we're doing same room
Yeah.
and huddle. What are you doing, and how can we coordinate so that our efforts are going in the same direction?
And I did request the chairs or their designee. So,
Right.
you know, if Steve's not available or thinks someone else is better, fine, you know, that kind of thing. But we just gotta keep it kind of tight. It's a big group already, right?
Yeah.
So we gotta, you know, navigate properly.
Well, that sounds positive.
Well, how many people from inland wetlands, if X number of people came to that, what makes it a quorum?
You need,
Four.
yeah, so
So it
less
can't
than
be,
4.
it has to be less than 4.
Right.
Yeah. So
But-
3
But
and a
if
half.
Mary Ann is there and somebody sees that there's 4, she can say, no, I'm with zoning.
Right, well,
Good
and some people have dual hats, right? You know,
dual
Willie
hats.
Platt's chair of zoning and also the chair of the ad hoc water level committee. Mary Ann's on ZBA and wetlands, so we need to be careful about all of those boxes.
I don't know, there's gotta be something happening, some way of policing a little bit more than we are right now, with some of these other little ponds and brooks and stuff to
I
that
don't
nature.
disagree.
You know, I don't wanna be the
I can
one,
tell you
hold on a
what-
minute. I don't wanna be the one that's gonna be the guy ratting out. Like,
Yeah.
I did call you a while back because of an application that we had in, that people are building decks out over this brook. And they're building brand new decks. You know, I bought a piece of property and I walked upstream a little bit. You gotta be kidding me. What's happening here?
So what became of that?
It's not-
Well, we
not
haven't
resolved
done
yet.
anything with that yet, but it's gonna get approached. But I'm just saying, there's just, stuff is happening everywhere with
Yeah.
this. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate.
You know, it's almost impossible, if you do due diligence as a commissioner, to visit sites that are applications, and if you look over at the neighbor's house,
Yeah.
either direction, you see stuff.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's that simple,
Right.
you know.
What we did in the
Let's
city-
try to, go ahead.
What we
Please
did in the
comment.
city, we had a regulation control department, and what our field supervisors did in water and sewers, when they were out in the field, if they saw, we gave them some guidelines. But if they saw something going on that wasn't there Monday, and all of a sudden Wednesday it's there, they reported it.
Yep.
And then they're our eyes and ears.
Yeah.
That's a
And-
They're
and we,
all over the place.
we have other staff in town that does report stuff back to us, and, you know, it goes
But I
both
mean,
ways.
if Jim,
Yeah.
you know, if we can use, I'm just saying, you know, not that they go out and look, I mean, because you're
But
not
if they
gonna
s-
take them away,
yeah.
but in their realm of traveling Winchester, the town of Winchester, they're out there, they're our representatives.
Mm-hmm.
They see things, let them report it,
Yeah.
it's not costing us anything.
But I'm glad you're doing that, because like even the concert, you know, there's a Highland Lake cleanup that happens in the spring, one happens in the fall. I think there's maybe a river cleanup, but
Yeah.
like if the Conservation Commission even just figured out a way to do cleanups at all of the water bodies, all of those areas, you know, a couple of times a year, then things would be seen, more people would get involved, you know what I mean? There would be like some more education going on, right? I mean, when I walk that property that, you know, is now the land trust property, like, you know, it's got beer cans here and garbage there, and it's gonna be clean now.
Let me ask you a question. Like I was saying, guys are building decks over the brook and stuff of that nature, okay? And we don't act on it while they're building it. We act on it afterwards. Is it theirs? Is it theirs already? Is it already in place? Is it, you know, just like our dock and mooring ordinance? If they don't come in, we can't do anything?
Well, I think you
What
can
happens
ask
with that?
people to take it down,
Yeah,
can't
it can
you?
be removed.
It
especially-
can.
If when? If you act while it's being built?
Even if it's
No,
So
already
even after the fact. So the reason why that hasn't specifically been approached yet is because it's going to be dealt with the larger site plan for
Well,
that
I know
entire
that.
property. So that's the situation with that.
But they're
If that wasn't going
The
on,
problem with some of those are.
Yep.
Up there, I think some of those trailer parks are owned individually.
some are, yes.
So how, if you're going in for the whole thing for Mr. Block, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You can't go after me being on my own piece of
It's
property.
kind of like a condo unit though, I would think, right? So
Yeah.
he's got control of the ground underneath it.
No, some of them I
There,
don't think he does.
he owns like 75% of the units there as well as the land. There are a few that own, and I guess they own the land
They
too.
own their own land.
But either way, the entire site
It's a-
is gonna be
that's
looked at
weird.
under that.
Okay.
Yeah, it is a strange situation, but,
Yeah.
yeah.
And where are we with buoys? Any movement on that? Just, we're gonna pay attention to where the state is going with that? And,
Buoys and markers, you mean?
markers?
Yeah, Yolanda was gonna send us, and she did send us some follow-up information. And enforcement, basically, she told us that enforcement on the lake is our problem.
Yeah.
It's the town's problem. I mean, really, that's what it came down to. So it was sort of like, we need to, if we find out that there are markers out there that shouldn't be there, then, you know, we can inform their conservation officer, and their conservation officer can deal with it.
Then
but-
we have to start out knowing which markers should be,
Right, so we have
deemed-
that information. There are 5 permits out on the lake, and we have those 5
Here's one of
permits. And here's one of them.
Yeah.
There's only 5.
There's only
Right.
5.
For
Right.
markers,
So it's pretty easy to work
but
the
there
other
are a
way.
lot
Yeah.
for buoys.
Well, so you have control over, the mooring buoys.
Yeah.
And they have control over the markers.
Got it.
So if it's a buoy, it's sort of our problem, your
Right,
problem.
like if the
it's
buoy
a-
gets pushed where it's not supposed to be, we have to deal
Right,
with
that's an
it.
enforcement problem on our end. If it's a marker that's regulated by DEP, we can contact their conservation officer, and then they can do. Of course, they don't have a boat, so then we have to get them in touch with our PD and get them on a boat so that they can go out there and deal with it. It's,
I didn't invite the
yeah,
least.
It's a.
I'll
we're-
loan
we're-
them my
Again, we're still kind of working on that.
Where do we stand with the stuff we sent to the select?
Came back, they want us to revisit it again. And you know what, to me, I don't think, I'm not willing to go through that whole thing all over again, because I think what they're asking for is, language in the ordinance that anybody who wants an appeal to any challenge of the ordinance has a right to appeal. I'm not
They
going
came
there.
back again?
Say we opened it, we looked at it, we're standing
Not
there,
in any official
standing our
capacity.
ground.
But,
We're standing our ground.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's dead in the water right now, isn't it?
That's
yeah,
my
I
feeling.
said it's dead in the, you know,
Do we
but
need
the
to
dead,
put
the
something
dead
in
part
writing to
is the
send to
things that
them
we
to go
want
in the
implemented
record
are dead in the
for
water also.
selectmen so they
You know,
know
I
our
mean, I'll give you a
position?
perfect example. You know, there are homeowners where they have 2 lifts. Our ordinance says one lift can contain a boat or a pontoon, and the other lift has to have a jet ski on it. Somebody's got 2 boats, you know, we say, who cares? That's no different. So everyone that has the second boat is in violation now. Does Jeff go, or you guys go out and say, you know, do something to get it out of the water or whatever? You know, that's what they're holding up in reality, and a couple of other things of that sort that make it, you know, a more user-friendly ordinance for common sense, let's put it that way, in my opinion.
They're
Yeah.
working just like our government.
Yeah.
Well, I just asked Jeff if we should submit something to them in writing with our position so that it can be discussed in their meeting and go into public record. And he said, might be a good idea.
Yeah,
So if you
wouldn't
want,
hurt.
I'll draft something for the next meeting for us to
Leave it in our,
discuss.
have it in our package?
Yeah,
Yeah, get it
yeah,
to
I'll
us
give it to
beforehand.
you
Yeah.
and it can go
good,
into the
thank you.
packets. Yeah, no problem.
And one more item.
Go ahead.
Sorry. As you guys are aware, one of the additional conditions that was put on the Stanziel waterfront project, which was approved, was for a soil scientist to review the findings of the biologist that they brought in for the materials underneath the pier. So we've struggled with that a little bit here for a couple of reasons. One, if we're going to have somebody double checking someone else's work, they need to be of like or greater credentials. So a soil scientist checking a biologist is upside down. And furthermore, we kind of feel it's not necessary. We have a biologist that they brought in that's working on this. He's fully certified. We can show you his credentials. You know, we don't go second guessing surveyors and engineers and so forth.
Well, we do.
Well, I think that
I
strike that comment.
I personally don't feel that is right.
Yeah.
You know, you're a certified engineer from the state of Connecticut.
Right.
And now you have somebody that is just a peer going against you. Not somebody greater, just a peer.
Right.
And like you just said,
Second
to the
set
soil
eyes.
scientists and the biologists, that's not the way it is. You have to have greater.
Yeah.
You know what, this whole thing, in my opinion, started where instead of the soil scientist extracting the dirt from that area of the lake, the homeowner extracted it,
Yeah.
piled it up on the dock, and now, that's what he's saying, and I'm not questioning the homeowner's credibility, but he's saying it came from there.
Yeah.
But, you know, he shouldn't have done that. It should have been the soil scientist, this is where it came from, and that's why it became a
I
question.
mean, it
only
does,
reason-
it does question for me, anyway. It makes me question the judgment of that particular biologist, that he would test the dirt that he didn't dig up and,
Certify it.
you know what I mean, and then certify it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, I wouldn't do that.
So
The only
we've
thing that
already
made me feel
stated.
good about that is John Pollock said that the dirt came from down there. There are the samples. We were there when John Pollock told us, those are the samples of the dirt that's on the bottom.
Well, anyway, so going back to your original, go
So
ahead.
just to finish that though,
Okay.
we do have the independent engineer on the project. We have requested that the biologist go back out, take the new samples, get them tested. You know, so it's your pleasure, of course, but we just wanted to, if we're gonna have somebody reviewing them, we need to modify that condition anyhow to make it a biologist or greater. So it's, what do you guys want to do?
When we asked for a town-appointed engineer to review the plans, Tom Grimaldi,
Yep.
we don't go through that kind of procedure, greater than and less than and whatever. We say, you know, Tom, these are the engineer's plans, this is the project, review the plans, make suggestions or agree with it, you know.
Yeah, that's an engineer reviewing an engineer.
Right, yeah.
So all I'm saying is it should be a biologist reviewing a biologist, not a soil scientist reviewing a biologist. So we would need to modify it to clarify we want a
I
biologist,
would agree with that.
or we don't feel that extra level is necessary.
Well, again,
You know, one or
I
the
mean,
other.
this is the kind of first time
Oh, yeah, we're all
it
kinda.
happened because
yeah.
of the way it was done.
Right.
Had it been the soil scientist extracting it and testifying, okay, we're good,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, from my point of view, the part okay, so if the biologist that they hired, who is a certified biologist, takes the samples, tests them, and delivers the results, I'm comfortable with trusting that he did that because we asked him to do it. The part where I think a peer review or oversight might be meaningful is when they're mixing material to replace the like material to put into the lake.
And that's what I thought we asked them to do.
That's the part that's really the part we have to be extremely mindful about.
That's what I thought we asked them to do. I thought that should be the way it was.
And obviously, we approved that application based on Tom Grimaldi's conditions.
Right.
And that nothing was in our package to even know what we approved. Like, you know what I'm saying? We just approved it, and, okay, Tom, everything's on your.
Anything else he says.
Yeah, anything else he says, but like, nothing
It
was
didn't
ever.
come back
Well,
to
the
us.
recommendation to go with a biologist instead of a soil scientist is coming from Tom.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
that's.
So what,
that's where
so
it's
he
coming.
submitted a full list of requirements?
Yeah, we've got a whole list of stuff.
So I think
Okay.
what Matt's saying is, can that be distributed to us?
Well, I mean, I was curious about that too, just where it.
Yeah, no, it's good for it to come back to
yeah,
us,
well,
so
it should be.
I agree with you, so we know
What we approved?
what we approved, and
We'll get it-
also.
we'll get it in.
We
it
gave
just-
Guy a hard time about a stone wall, and yet we just blanketly approved.
I totally
know, it's-
agree with that, and I also think that it is useful and informative for us because it could inform our decision about the next application that comes in that's like that.
The only thing I will say to this whole thing, all right, if we're gonna make somebody hire our independent engineer, which they are paying for, okay, they should come a little bit more prepared than Grimaldi came the last time.
Yeah.
It was embarrassing.
I spoke to Jeff about that,
It was embarrassing,
yeah.
all right? And we're making the man pay for that? That's
Well,
crazy.
hang on though, Gary, didn't Tom, I thought the issue there was Tom did not have enough time, lead time. I thought that he qualified it and said, I just got this in X amount of time, so I didn't have enough time to review.
I don't recall exactly.
Probably the
You
newest
could be
set of
right.
He
plans.
said
Yeah,
that,
it's
he
delivered.
said that, but this took place for over a month.
Right.
Okay? It was embarrassing to have the man that we made him pay for stuttering and not have a paper in front of him.
Well, we're not limited to Tom Grimaldi
Oh,
or
Tom was
anybody else.
good, like on the last project, Tom was
Yeah,
good.
he was over
You
the-
know what I mean?
over the top good.
He was
Well, or
he
if
was
the
very good.
fact is that Tom's like, hey,
I can't
thanks
do
for
it, I'm too
sending this to
busy.
me, I'm backed up, I'm not
Correct.
gonna get
Well,
to
That's
it.
what I'm saying,
Yeah.
he should be in correspondence with Jeff.
Yeah, then
You know
we
what I
might
mean, Jeff?
need
Not to come
request
unprepared.
an extension because he doesn't have the time.
You know, in the future, what we should ask for is, you have the capacity to review it in a timely manner and get it back to the applicant and the commission so that everybody can behave accordingly and move ahead. You know, just beg the question, that's all. All right, we good? Anything else
Well, I don't think we made a decision
on? Oh.
on the
You're looking-
biologist business.
Well, that's already been in the
I think
approval, and the language is in the approval as a condition.
what he's saying
Can
is,
we, you're talking about for the future?
No, I'm talking about for this one. It should be modified for,
So-
if you're gonna have that extra review, it should be a biologist reviewing that biologist.
yeah, and I just wanna clarify that in the last meeting, The man was not identified as a biologist. He was identified as a soil scientist. So now it is being surfaced to us that he is a biologist, and therefore, we thought we were asking for a peer review.
That's fair,
But
yeah.
we weren't, because we did not know it was a biologist. So I think we can go with Tom's suggestion and ask for it to be a biologist.
But again, a good point that, you know, he introduced himself as a soil scientist.
Yeah.
So the chain of command, we did go up the ladder,
Yeah.
you know, so I would say leave it alone. You know, if he or she has more than one title, do we want to ask that question? Are you testifying as a soil scientist, as a biologist, as a surveyor, as an engineer? You know, and see where they are, or
Alright.
just leave them alone.
Well, to that end, anyhow, we do have a recommendation from Tom for a soil
biologist.
biologist so we're gonna reach out to him. I wanted to wait until we
Yeah,
had this
good.
conversation.
Okay.
And as a matter of fact, now that the water's down, Mr. Stanziel asked about doing a little exploration because he still feels that that jetty is right on the lake bed and there's no
Let's hope it
foundation to
is.
deal with. And if that's the case, then this is all moot.
Yeah.
Correct.
So,
Yeah, let's
yeah,
hope it
we're-
is.
We're hoping for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
All right, there, anything else, Jeff?
I'm done.
Jeremy?
I'm good.
Anybody? In the audience? Anybody? Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All those in favor? We will see each other before Thanksgiving, correct?
20th.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all.
A week before.
Yeah.
There must be